Coming up on Till Vacuum Do Us Part. In today's video, we're going to be working on my mudroom slash laundry room. I was so ready to get this completed. So if you're new here, go ahead and hit that red subscribe button, and then we're going to jump straight into today's video. So I get it, for the most part, this room looks pulled together. Like there's baskets, it's labeled. My dad even built me that custom bench cover. If you want to see that, I'll leave the link down below in my description box for that video. That's on my channel and on his. But I just wanted to tweak it a few more places. Basically not so much on this side of the wall, but over here on this side of the wall. So more on my laundry room side. I felt like the cabinet over there was just floating. My builder didn't add shelves. He didn't add rods for hanging clothes, which I have one of those over more on the mudroom side. So I wanted to just level it up over there. That's always what I'm calling it. I'm like, let's just level up the space. So I had ran to Target and Ross and picked up all of these goodies. I'll show you what I bought and how much it was, and then we'll get started working on this project.
Everything you see through, see through. No more, no more. Everything you see through, see through. No more, no more. Everything you see through. How can I believe?
The glass containers I found at Target for $9.99. I thought that was a steal because normally on swipe ups there's so much more. The other thing I picked up were these plastic spoons, and it's like a 3-pack from Hobby Lobby in the party section for under $3. And then I had a really sweet subscriber send these to me to try out on my basket. She thought I'd love them. So that's a lot of the product we're going to be working on. But first we have to get to painting. I feel like anytime we're doing a project, I'm painting something white. So we're going to start painting these boards. We did pick them up from Lowe's, but if you have them laying around, use them. Have that paint on hand and paintbrushes, and we're just going to get to painting these boards.
Oh, you said things could only get better. I need it more than ever. They don't. How can I believe you when everything you see through, see through? No more, no more. Everything you see through, see through. No more. Everything you see through.
I never really showed you a clip of the boards, so we just had one big one for the shelves, and then we have these trim boards, and that's how we're going to secure it to the wall. But we didn't need a ton, and we just bought really inexpensive wood. So it was called common boards or common wood. I think it's the cheapest thing you can buy that was still long because we needed to cut it down. We're going to be adding 4 shelves to our laundry room. If you saw my last video, it was on how to make your house look expensive or how to add value to your house. This is definitely one of those projects that could have been in that video as well. It's something cheap, it's something easy to do, you can get it done in one day, and it's always going to add value to your house, especially if you stage it well. So we're just going to keep painting this, and then we will show you how it turns out here in a little bit.
Everything you see through, see through. Everything you see through, see through.
Okay, now I'm going to head in while the paint's drying. I feel like I always have to be multitasking, but I'm going to cut off these labels. I love these labels, but I did want to try out the plastic ones that another subscriber sent, and I'm going to be making new labels, and I'm going to go ahead and cut these off and save them just in case I want to use them somewhere else or back in here another day, and I want to know what words I need to print out, so that's why I'm cutting them off here. Now we're moving on to creating the labels, and I do want to thank Cricut for sponsoring this part of today's video. I'm going to show you all the products I'm going to be using to make these labels. I feel like one of the most common questions I get or saying is, I'm just too scared to try it, it's overwhelming, I don't know what to do. So if you're starting off there, the Cricut Joy is going to be your best friend. Like, to me, it's my safety zone. You kind of have limited options because there's an app and you can just choose what you want, but there's great choices. So I chose these labels right here, and I typed in all the words, and what's nice is you can see what it looks like before you print it. So if you want to not have all the letters capitalized, or if you don't like the way it's fitting, you can think of a smaller word. I don't know, it's just a great visual. And then if you're watching the screen, I'm showing you a step-by-step. It tells you everything to do. So it's gonna come up on your phone and assist you on what to do next, and that's why it's so easy. It's just like paint by numbers. So as long as you can read, you can definitely handle this thing, and you're gonna love the way you can like create labels, and you can make gifts and cards. The options are endless. I have so many fun videos that I'm gonna be using this in. This is just one of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these printed. So with this type of label, it's actually going to draw on to the label itself, and they do have different colors. So say you didn't want black on white, you could choose colored paper, you could use the colored pens or markers. So you can definitely customize this to the style of your home. You guys know me, I just like to keep it simple. Black and white is definitely just my happy place, and so that's what I'm going to do. But what's so nice is while this is working, you can multitask. So I was sitting there and Chase's closet was driving me crazy, and in his defense, it's my fault. I throw everything into that office closet because I don't have an office closet in my office. And so while it's working, I can go get stuff done. So it does all the work for you. So you're gonna see me start to make a mess. I'm actually organizing it, but you know how that goes. You like make a bigger mess in the process. And then once it gets to the next part, I'll come in and let you know what's happening at that point. Okay, so this next part blew my mind when I first figured it out. I thought it just printed out on the label and then I was gonna have to cut them out myself, but it has you take out the pin and put in the blade, and it's actually going to cut them out for you. So it's like a sticker. All you have to do is peel them off and then stick them onto anything that you're wanting.
Tell you.
Okay guys, and that is all. So I showed you exactly everything that you need to do this. I showed you step by step how to do it. It is super easy. All you have to do is pull out the app on your phone and it links to the Cricut Joy. Super, super simple. I'm gonna leave their link down below in my description box, so if you're wanting anything like this, this is definitely beginner friendly if you're worried about getting started. So thanks again to Cricut for sponsoring this part of today's video.
I'm gonna let everyone know about my love, so I really hope you love me too. Yeah, I really hope you love me too.
Okay, so I did print all of this onto like the sticky vinyl, so I'm just peeling it off like a sticker and sticking it onto the plastic that's going to hook onto the basket. Now I could have printed this onto more like paper and had it cut it out and then you could slide it in, but I just feel like there's less room for error here. I don't know, I really like just peeling off and sticking on. I can change it out super easy, but with this machine you could do either way. So if you have a preference, go with it. I'm gonna finish sticking these on, and then here in a few slides I'll show you exactly what it looks like when I'm finished.
I'm gonna let everyone know about my love, so I really hope you love me too. Yeah, I really hope you love me too.
Here in a second, you're gonna see me look up and have big ol' eyes. a thunderstorm rolled through, and it was like the biggest boom of thunder I've heard in a really long time. The boys were going crazy, but that's why I gave you guys that look. I like wasn't expecting it. But here is how the labels turned out. So they're printed, they're cut, and then I stuck them onto the plastic things that the sweet subscriber sent me. So now they're done. I'm just gonna head into our mudroom area and I'm gonna start sliding them on the baskets. So you're gonna see I put them on the top. They really wouldn't fit on the handle part. They were just a little bit too wide. I could always have Chase look at it, but I couldn't get it on. But I still think they look amazing. So once I get these stuck on, I'll show you an after and you guys can tell me if you liked the first one better, or you know, like the black with the white writing, or if you like this style better where it's white with black and it's like hooked onto the top of it.
Everyone know about my love, so I really hope you love me.
Real quickly before we move on, I wanted to show you, these were labels I printed on paper before and just stuck them on to my bins outside. So that's just another way you can do it. But now we're gonna start cutting. I'm not gonna show you a ton of this. You guys see Chase cut all the time, but he's starting to work on the trim board pieces. So it's painted, then he's cutting, but while he's working on that, I'm gonna start prepping some of the decor inside. I love when things can be functional, and I love when things can be pretty, and then I love when you can do both. So I love that these jars can sit out. It can have my pods in there for laundry detergent. Side note, I just started buying these. This is my first bag, and I bought the cheap brand, but it's working really well, and then I don't have to get like liquid detergent everywhere. Now I still have to do it for my softener, but it's just been really nice to have. So if you haven't tried those out, definitely give it a go. Like I said, I bought the cheap ones and it's still working really well.
Nobody loves me better. Nobody loves me better. Guess I'm just too scared to settle down. There'd be many nights I got too high and almost left town. But there's something about you, something about you I like, about you I like. I get too drunk and too scared and lie to you. If only you knew I would die for you.
Seriously, having these glass jars, I want them like all over my house. But I did have a little bit of a color shock. It was a lot more blue than what I was expecting. I forgot that the scent boosters were like bright blue. So right here I'm like putting all my decor together to see if I can soften it. Am I gonna like it? Is it too much? Ultimately I decided it was too much. Shocking, I know. So I'm gonna go ahead and scoop all of that product into the bag that like my pods came in, so I can save it just inside my cabinet so you don't see it as much. And then I'll show you what else I put into this glass jar that works a little bit better with my color scheme.
Nobody loves me better, yeah. I get too drunk and too scared and lie to you. If only you knew I would die for you. One of us gotta say the obvious. Nobody loves me better. Nobody loves me better.
So since I decided the blue was too much, I grabbed my Tide like powder laundry detergent. You guys know I love that stuff for cleaning different areas of my house. Plus it's more white, so it has blue in it, so it's still gonna pull some blue touches from the pods, but it's mainly white. So I was so glad I switched that. It's gonna look really pretty setting out. I'll show you a clip on the next screen of like what it looks like with more of the white instead of all the blue. now I'm gonna head back out to the garage. I felt like this project took all day, which we didn't start it till the afternoon, but there's always just so many moving pieces to get one project done. So we had painted these originally and then Chase cut them. I'm painting them one more time because some of the ends are gonna show, so I need to paint those bottom pieces. Plus some of it got chipped while he was cutting. So I'm just gonna do one quick coat. As you can see, I'm just going over them real quickly. I'm gonna let them dry real fast, and then we're gonna start putting this wall together. So these are steps you don't have to do, but I feel like it makes it at the end. It makes it look more professional. It looks more custom. Definitely don't just do it in a hurry or you're gonna regret it later. I did stick a fan on it just real quick. They dry quickly just with one thin coat, but he was about to start installing them, so I wanted to make sure they were dry. These are actually really super easy shelves to like install in your house. The reason we had the idea is this is how the builder had put in different shelves throughout our other closets, so we wanted it to match throughout the entire house. So it's super easy to do and cheap. Now I'm gonna grab my wood filler because where Chase is like nail gunning it in, we want to cover those up and let it dry and then paint it. Just doing those finishing details really makes it look custom. So you can skip those, but the end result's just not the same. So definitely just take the time, fill it, paint it, and then I'll show you how it looks here in a second. I noticed it was really dirty where my washer had been. Since Chase pulled it out so he could install the shelves, I went ahead and took my vacuum and I feel so much better about it. I haven't got to do it with my dryer yet, but I need to do that another day. The next thing we're gonna do is caulking. So this is a step that I think people forget about and it definitely needs to get done. I'm about to show you a before and after clip of the difference it can make.
And nothing's ever lifting me higher than a touch of your sweet desire. Well, we're all built in right. We just have to hold on through the night as long as we are watching the fire.
So here on the right, you can see there's a lot of like gaps and spacing. You can see like the dark lines, whereas on the left, we've already done it and it's just completely smooth and white. So it does make a big difference. So definitely take the step. And since it's white on white, we didn't even have to paint it. So that's another perk as well. Now I'm gonna grab my dryer sheets and put them in this basket. I actually grabbed it from our pantry because I feel like it matches the baskets over here on my shelf really well. So it'll kind of tie it in. And here's the process of how it's going. So now they're done. I just have to decorate them, but can we already see the big difference it makes? Like, I felt like that shelf was just floating before, and now it just seems so much wider and custom and like it should have been there this whole time.
Your fragile soul will soon be strong. I'll carry you so tenderly. What I wanna say is that I stand by you when you're falling, when the river is calling. I said I love you forever. We can make it together.
Okay, so here is the before clip of what it looked like when we started today's video. And now here's the clip when the shelves were complete, but they weren't decorated yet. And finally, here are the shelves complete. They're decorated. I feel like it makes such a big difference. I feel like I always say that, but this time it really does. This has been one of my favorite projects that we've done in a long time. I feel like we've been doing a lot of projects, but I absolutely love this one. I keep walking in my laundry room to see it. I feel like it just made such a big impact in there. It's not as boring. It's not as simple. It's been really hard to decorate that space because the floors are so busy, but I feel like everything up on the shelves is just perfect. Plus, it's really functional as well. Thank you so much for watching today's video and hanging out with me. I hope you're inspired by this project. It was a small budget makeover and it still made a huge impact, and that's what I love sharing with you guys. It did not take a lot of money to make such a huge difference in this small space. Don't forget, if you're in need of any of your Cricut products, definitely click on that link down below. I do want to thank Cricut again for sponsoring today's video. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I have lots of great content coming your way, so definitely make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!